Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Season 4 update within Warzone and MW3 is live today. We've got a ton of patch notes to go through and break down for all modes, multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. So, diving right in on the multiplayer side of things, we've got our Wednesday, May 29th update. Keep in mind that with this, everyone is required to download the major update, the 1.45 title update for this. So, before you can get on and play anything, you are going to have to go through that full-on download. Now, of course, we do have the standard seasonal content. We've covered this a lot over the past week or so regarding the roadmap, the various different blogs that have surfaced, but 4 new maps are coming throughout the season for multiplayer: Tokyo, Paris, Incline, and Das Gross. We've got a bunch of new modes: Demolition, Hypercranked, Cache, Mutation, which looks like a crazy one. I was able to sit in on a dev call earlier on this week, and we'll be talking about that more in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. Headshots only in Havoc. We got a couple of new guns: the Kar 98K, which, yes, can one-shot in Warzone, the Super E46, the Reclaimer, aka the Spaz 12, and the Sledgehammer. A bunch of new aftermarket parts, new kill streaks, some perk updates for multiplayer, new operators, and all the usual stuff there. But getting into the physical patch notes themselves, addressed various issues causing improper first-person animations across the board. For customization, camos can now be equipped on the Beast Glove blueprint for the Gladiator. No Fear weapon decal no longer has a white border. Equipping the Carriage skin on the MCW assault rifle no longer result in an error. Fix an input device exploit allowing unknown blueprints to be equipped, and Jack Glassless optic is now unlocked as expected when you purchase the relevant blueprint for it. For multiplayer, UI and UX, weapon mastery, and unlock challenges can now be tracked. XP bonus potential from compatible operator skins is now displayed while in the lobby, but not in a party. And there's various different bug fixes here too, some spelling mistakes, various different icon updates, and the usual stuff there. For gameplay, spawn protection is now disabled when the player inflicts damage or locks onto a kill streak. Fixed a bug causing spawns to not match the intended directionality of a map. Increased direction distance for nearby enemies in small map selection. Decreased volume of footsteps from enemy players. So that's obviously a very big one there. They go on to say, last season we made several adjustments to perks to distribute usage in the boots category more evenly. Despite these changes, the pick rate of covert sneakers remains far ahead of other boots. In today's update, our design and audio teams have decreased the volume of all footstep types to encourage more diverse usage with the boots category. Collateral kills now progress battle rage challenges as expected. Kills with battle rage challenges now track properly. Fixed an issue causing the ISO 9mm to not unlock. They did make a couple of different map updates with spawn locations, various different physical updates too. Corrected the orientation on a flag, added the ability to mount at various locations, so on and so forth. Couple of mode updates: unlimited ammo and grenade power-up timer now disappears in arcade. For cutthroat, allies needing a revive are now indicated as such on the scoreboard. Anyone in the chamber life streaks are now properly tracked. Weapon updates on the multiplayer side of things. Keep in mind these could be different from Warzone. We'll find out when we get there in just a moment. But the BP-50, they decreased the move speed, the sprint speed, and the tack sprint speed, so the BP-50's aggression is worse now. That's a bummer. The Revenger kit for the SMG also got a lot of nerfs here. The movement speed, crouch speed, sprint speed, tack sprint speed, ADS strafe, maximum damage is down, near to medium damage is down, medium damage is down. So the Revenger kit gets worse up close and worse movement across the board. On the MCW, they actually buffed the headshot multiplier a little bit, so that's probably up towards the top of the rifles in multiplayer yet again. On the FJX Horus, they decreased the recoil gun kick. They increased the range a little bit. That's solid. Increased the near to medium damage range, increased the lower torso multiplier. The no stock mod, they also increased the strafe benefits. And then on the LXD stock, they added a movement speed penalty. On the Ram 9, they ended up increasing the range here. They did say a lot of the SMGs in multiplayer were going to get range buffs. The AMR 9, range buff. The Rival 9 fixed an issue with the trebuchet brake attachment. They also buffed the range. Also on the Headhunter carbine conversion kit, they increased the rate of fire a ton there, increased the maximum damage, the near to medium damage, the minimum damage, then also some multipliers as well. HRM 9 range buff, Striker range buff, Striker 9 range buff, Wasp 9 range buff as well. So SMGs and multiplayer are getting a lot more versatile this season. On the MCW 6.8, the full auto conversion kit, they resolved an issue with the recoil there. On the RGL 80, they decreased the ADS time and decreased explosive damage by 80% in hardcore. The explosive damage is now scaled to align with the hardcore player health scaler. For perks, Gunslinger, they fixed an issue causing throwing stars to not replenish. The Gunner Vest updated description to remove mention of handgun ammo benefits. Compression Plate Carrier fixed an issue causing throwing star kills to not trigger health regen. Assault Gloves updated description to mention recently added reticle spread benefit. For streaks here, they also made several adjustments. They decreased the delay on the precision and increased the damage radius. Cruise Missile increased the explosive damage radius. The SAE decreased the delay and increased the explosive damage radius. They also removed the stun effect on victims before death. Remote Turret increased the cost from 7 kills to 8 kills, decreased the hits required for turret destruction, improved detection from EMP hits on the Stormender as well. We also got an increased cost. Overwatch Helo increased cost, decreased the incoming damage dealt by bullets. Emergency Airdrop decreased the cost. Carpet Bomb decreased the cost, improved explosive damage radius and bomber flight speed. VTOL increased cost, decreased the incoming damage dealt by bullets and the machine gun explosive damage. Gunship increased the cost. Chopper Gunner increased the cost, but they also decreased the incoming damage dealt by bullets, the turret explosive damage, and the turret explosive damage radius. EMP decreased the cost, and the visual effects no longer play twice. In the Swarm, they fixed an issue causing the drones to dive bomb immediately after the player who summons it dies, fixed an issue causing the drones to spawn away from the play space on a couple of different maps. For Zombies patch notes, they fixed a client crash issue when players attacked All For One's fort and attempted to engage All For One in his room. Customization fixed a bug that prevented the Mimic operators from being equipped. The Longbow sniper rifle's extinction blueprint is no longer missing attachments. For UI updates, fixed an issue where players would see a default loading screen. Unlocked items should no longer appear to be locked in the menu. That's a pretty big one. The HUD overlay from the Golden Sergeant spray no longer flickers on and off. Fixed an issue where players' gamer tags in the squad missions tab were difficult to read. For gameplay updates here, addressed an issue that prevented the photonic charge barrel on the Moors from applying correct damage. Deploying the Juggernaut kill streak no longer incorrectly deploys the Juggernaut recon kill streak. Dying while using the Juggernaut no longer causes loss of all weapons. Fixed an issue where shooting a Wonder weapon near the Sergeant's beret friendly Merc would cause the Merc to be affected. Fixed an object collision issue that would occur when being grabbed by a Mimic, and loot in the bookstore location named for Rose and Sons is now accessible. Dark Ether Rift. The Ether Storm will no longer spawn on top of the tornado at the gate. Fixed several instances of zombies not pathing as intended. Fixed several out-of-map exploits as well. For Dark Ether, in the newest Act 4 story mission, players are able to reach Pack-a-Punch location by foot. Fixed an issue where the vote prompt would block users from starting the Dark Ether Rift, and then eliminated several environmental exploits. Then for progression, they did fix an issue. The third punching bag could not be activated, blocking the Tattered MMA Gloves Atonement Challenge. Now let's jump over to the Warzone side. So we also have our full patch notes here. Do keep in mind as we're going through all the changes and all of the updates. If you are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, everything going on in COD is right here. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, join us on the road to 1 million. And if you guys enjoy this video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. It's always really appreciated. Of course, alongside this, we also have the full new Season 4 Battle Pass. We covered that in a video earlier on this week. For performance updates, they fixed those first-person animations, then the same customization updates that we saw in multiplayer with the Beast blueprints, decals not working, certain blueprints not working, glassless optic not unlocking, all that was updated here as well. Urzikstan Battle Royale has been increased to 120 players, up from 100. Now, with this, they have made several other changes. So they basically said, we want to increase the player count, but they're going to make lives more valuable. So this novel of text here is basically going through and saying that there's going to be less gulag tokens, less ability to redeploy in-game outside of buy stations, right? They're basically giving you, more value, more risk to your life because there are now more players. So they're decreasing the second chance opportunities a little bit, but increasing the overall player count. So that's going to be interesting to see how that actually takes effect. So updates to most wanteds, to the gulag tokens, so on and so forth. If you wanted the exact specifics there, feel free to pause the video. Map updates. Unlocked bunkers now have an escape hatch as an alternative exit. New rewards have also been added, like the unlimited tac sprint boots. There's 4 new different gulag layouts for our general gulag here, but the map is still going to be roughly the same. It's not like it's a brand new gulag by any means there. Returning Urzikstan Battle Royale, we've got Buyback Royale. Cash is everything. When you have $4,500, you'll be able to automatically redeploy. That's only going to be solos, though, on Urzikstan. Our playlist for this upcoming week is going to be Buyback Solos on Urzikstan, Ranked Play on Rebirth, Plunder Quads, Battle Royale Duos, Trios, and Quads on Urzikstan, and then Resurgence map rotation for all squad sizes. So that'll be rotating between Rebirth, Fortune's Keep, and Vondel. No mention of Urzikstan POI for that, for what it's worth. General updates, Warzone rewards. So there's going to be new specific challenges for Warzone relating to economics, contracts, socials, general modes, and then also the Champions Quest. So you can get new rewards through those. That's pretty cool. Just another thing to do in game. All maps and all modes, Champions Quest contract stealing. When the team on the Champions Quest contract is fully eliminated, someone's going to be able to pick that up and actually attempt to steal it. The unlimited tac sprint boots are going to be found in the bunkers, as I mentioned earlier. They do not drop on death. They can be found in any given bunker, and they also do not reduce fall damage. That was initially mentioned when these were announced. That's not the case anymore. You will die to fall damage if you jump off a building with these on. Specialist is going to be introduced into Urzikstan as well. You could also purchase it, though, for 30 grand in the buy station. The bunker buster is being added to Urzikstan, so that'll be an interesting play for sure. The utility box is going to be there. Loot hot zones where you can drop in, and there will be more loot in that specific area. They do not appear, though, on the TAC map. You have to find them manually in game. The Runaway Train public event could happen with a 10% chance at the end of a game. The safe zone will be on the train, so it'll be constantly moving. That'll be pretty chaotic. There's also the new Polaris Razor vehicle that's going to be added in as well. Ground loot weapons. No weapon went untuned in this season's ground loot weapon update. Players will find updated ground loot across every weapon class. That's awesome. I was getting really tired of finding snipers in every single chest imaginable. Gas mask now has a manual, automatic, and semi-automatic setting. That's huge. A new keybind has also been added for manual behavior, where you can take it off when you want, but the gas will automatically put it on if the gas hits you. Buy station improvement. Purchase weapons will now drop behind to make it easier to distinguish that nearby loot. Initial circle has been delayed, essentially. The delay time for the initial circle has been upped to 2 minutes from 1, so there's just more time to loot up early game on Urzikstan. Players now respawn from Gulag with updated primary and secondary weapons. Gulag loadouts, they updated some of these, adjusted the weapon loadouts in the locked and loaded and climb and punishment events as well. And there's no more C4 in the Gulag. Loot updates here. General balance past many items have had their rarity adjusted. The overall acquisition rate of cash via ground loot and supply boxes has been reduced by 50%, so less cash across the board. The density of ground loot has also been reduced by 15%. They made some general adjustments to supply boxes here, increasing their frequency, and then also the rarities have been adjusted. Gulag tokens have a very low chance of spawning in general loot, but they're guaranteed from the most wanted with limited inventory at the buy station. Redeploy packs do not spawn in loot. They are a low reward for most wanted. Then also redeploy flares. They have a low chance in legendary chests and a lower chance where support items can spawn like medicine cabinets. The following legendary items are now exclusive to certain locations. Durable gas masks are only in bunkers and then intel contract rewards. Redeploy packs are black sites and most wanted rewards. Foresight is a bunker chest. Specialist is buy stations. Buy station inventory updates. So there's going to be unlimited team revives, armor plates, gas masks, ammo boxes, UAVs, supply UAVs, loadouts, only 2 clusters, 2 PAs, 2 utility boxes, 2 selfs, 2 portable radars, 2 mosquito drones, 2 bunker busters, 2 gulag tokens, and 1 specialist. Then also for rebirth, late game circles may now end on a wider variety of locations. Then we get into our weapon updates. We obviously have our Super E46, our Car 98K, which can again one-shot, bunch of new aftermarket parts as mentioned. So BP50, movement speed nerf, sprint speed nerf, tac sprint speed nerf, Revenger kit decreased the movement speed, crouch speed, sprint speed, tac sprint speed, and ADS speed. They didn't adjust any of the damage, or so they say though, on the Revenger kit for Warzone, so that's important to note there. Battle 27, near to medium damage range was buffed, mid-range damage was also buffed, lower arm and hand modifiers were buffed there, so some range buffs and some modifier buffs for that. Holger 556 near to mid damage range was buffed. Leg modifier was also buffed a tad bit, so that'll be a little bit more effective. SVA mid damage was actually nerfed, and the head modifier was nerfed, so the SVA ends up getting nerfed across the board. MCW minimum damage buffed. That's so huge. The MCW's long range damage has been its main fault for some time. That getting buffed is going to make it a lot better for long range gunplay. Hopefully that's enough to have it compete in the general meta. MTZ 556 max damage range increase, so that's its close range, that's getting buffed, that's solid. Near to mid range was also buffed, headshot modifier was buffed, so the MTZ gets even better as well. Cast off 762 mid-range, range is better. Arm and hand modifier was buffed. Lower torso modifier was buffed. Leg modifier was buffed. So cast off 762 gets a little bit better. I fully believe that's because there's an aftermarket part coming to it. The Chimera near to mid damage was buffed. That's solid because this was already a really good sniper support. Arm modifier buffed and lower torso modifier buffed as well. Then the Hemlock mid damage range was buffed. Minimum damage range was buffed. Arm modifier was also buffed. So mid-range, long-range, the damage there is going to be better, and then arm shots will be a little bit more impactful. So the Hemlock is not going to be complete garbage now, maybe with this update. The AMR-9, max damage was buffed again. So they nerfed it before, now it's back to being buffed. The range, though, was decreased a ton there. Near to mid damage was also buffed, though. So this could be an option for sniper support again. There's also, though, a new damage range set at 25 meters, and the mid damage range set at 34 meters as well. For the Horus, max damage was buffed a little bit. Near to mid damage was buffed. Mid damage buff. Minimum damage buff. So close range and long range, all better there. Max damage range was also increased a little bit. Headshot multiplier was nerfed, though. Arm and hand modifier was buffed. Lower torso modifier buffed. Leg modifier buffed. Recoil was also buffed there too. No stock has better ADS speed benefits. The LXD stock has more of a movement speed penalty. On the Rival 9, they increased the velocity a little bit. That's solid. And then also the fire rate on that carbine conversion kit was increased a decent amount too. Striker 9, minimum damage was nerfed. So the Striker 9 close range is not going to be as good now. Max damage range was also nerfed. Headshot modifier was nerfed. That's going to bump the Striker out of that _1 spot. Wasp 9, max damage range was decreased. Near to mid damage range was decreased. Mid damage range was decreased. Lower arm and hand modifiers were also nerfed. So the Wasp 9's close range damage is still going to be probably pretty decent. The Striker 9's won't be. This to me really makes the base Striker probably that new #1 SMG, maybe flirting with the Wasp there for that #1 spot. The DG58 headshot modifier nerfed. They also decreased the velocity by 100. Okay, so that definitely is impactful for the DG. They also buffed the Holger's headshot modifier. So the Holger's the new #1 long range gun. I think that's pretty straightforward for sure. The Stalker, the neck modifier, was also nerfed there. So that's a bit of a bummer. Ranked play, they do actually confirm here Battle Royale ranked. It's going to be coming later on this year. They're not committing to an exact timeline for it, but Battle Royale ranked play will be coming at some point in the future. We do have new ranked play resurgence rewards with new blueprints, the usual seasonal reset and everything going on there. Nothing too out of the ordinary. For resurgence, teams that place first now, though, will be given 125 SR, so that's 25 extra. Also, iridescent deployment fees have been reduced by 5 SR. For UI and UX, match stats, the new statistics panel for multiplayer is now in Warzone, so you can see that. Third person parachute, there's a new setting for that. Squad widget info, this is awesome. It'll be like Warzone 1. Icons for armor plates, gas masks, and streaks will now appear under your squad members' names, so you'll know, hey, player 2, do you have plates that you can drop me? And if they say no, you'll be able to see if they have 9. So that's definitely very important there. Contract timer, the contract widget will now display a visual timer there too. And various different bug fixes. We're going to speed run these. Fix an issue causing the resupply perk to have an incorrect secondary description. An issue causing some players to experience stuttering when moving on the TAC map. An issue that caused player names to overlap with the reward text when completing a bounty. An issue preventing players from pinging a gulag entry token. An issue causing the TAC map to display an incorrect reward amount. And an issue causing the player to get kicked from the front end after selecting view division rewards in ranked play. An issue that would rarely cause the pickup pop-up on objects to disappear. An issue that caused the player to be kicked to the front end after selecting reset filter when editing weapons. An issue causing inconsistencies with squad fill options. An issue with the ranked play resurgence SR overview being incorrect. And several occlusion issues allowing players to exploit the map. So solid meta updates here, some solid gameplay updates too. Overall, a pretty standard seasonal update. Cross our fingers when this actually goes live about the time that you are seeing this video, maybe a little bit after. Hopefully it doesn't break things. That'll be to be determined, but that's gonna wrap things up for this one. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out to guarantee you're up to date with everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.